Where legends breathe again. Eldmyth. Before angels walked the heavens, and long before humans claimed the earth, there were beings made of smokeless fire. The Jinn, unseen, untamed, older than our stories and far more dangerous than our fears. They whisper from the empty places, follow the wandering, watch the lonely, and to those who dare call them they may grant a wish or claim a soul. Are Jinn tricksters, guardians, demons, or simply shadows of a world that exists beside ours, just out of sight? Tonight, we open the pages of the Bestiary and reveal the truth hidden in the fire that does not burn. The silence of the deep desert is a lie. Beneath the hush of shifting sands and the sigh of the wind, there is another layer of existence, a frequency just beyond human perception. This is the realm of the Jinn. They are not mere ghosts or phantoms. They are beings of smokeless fire, entities of will and desire, woven into the very fabric of creation from a time before humanity. To speak of them is to speak of the unseen world, the Alam al-Gaib. Imagine the heat haze rising from a sun-baked dune at midday. That shimmering, distorting veil is the closest our eyes can come to perceiving the barrier between our world and theirs. They are the whisper in the empty ruins, the sudden chill in a warm room, the shadow that moves with a purpose of its own. Their origins are rooted in the most ancient of cosmologies, born from the elemental chaos that preceded order. They are as real as the wind, yet as intangible as a thought. To understand the Jinn is to accept that the world is far stranger, far more densely populated, and infinitely more mysterious than our senses dare to admit. They are the permanent residents of the periphery, forever watching from the corners of our vision, their existence a constant, subtle challenge to our claim of dominion over the earth. Long before the first cities of humankind pierced the sky, the Jinn were the undisputed masters of the earth. Ancient texts speak of a primordial age where they built vast, magnificent empires in the hidden places of the world. Crystalline cities concealed within impassable mountain ranges, and luminous metropolises glowing in the abyssal depths of the oceans. They were a race of immense power and passion, capable of great wisdom and terrifying wrath. Their societies were as complex and varied as our own, with kings and queens, tribes and nations, poets and warriors. The Ifrit, a powerful and often malevolent caste, were known for their cunning and strength, while the Marid, masters of the deep waters, possessed profound knowledge. There were also the Sela, shapeshifters who could walk among humans undetected, and the Ghoul, who haunted desolate places and graveyards. This golden age was not to last. With the arrival of humanity, a new chapter began. A great prophet among the Jinn, Iblis, once a revered being of light and fire, refused to bow to the newly created Adam, the first man. This act of arrogant defiance led to his fall from grace, and he became the Shaitan, the adversary, the source of evil whispers, leading many of the Jinn astray. This event created an eternal schism, not only among the Jinn themselves but also between their kind and humanity, setting the stage for millennia of interaction, fear, and fascination. This schism forced a retreat. The great empires of the Jinn faded into myth, and they withdrew from the open world, becoming masters of the liminal spaces. They did not vanish. They adapted, making their homes in the places humanity found uninhabitable or sacred. A lonely, wind-scoured desert wadi, where the rocks are stained with the patina of ages, becomes a gathering place for nomadic Jinn tribes. The suffocating silence of a deep, uncharted forest, where sunlight is a rare currency, hides their ancient, root-twisted groves. They dwell in the forgotten corners of abandoned homes, their presence felt as a sudden drop in temperature or the faint scent of ozone. Cemeteries, with their quiet sorrow and potent memories, are crossroads for their kind. Most notably, they are drawn to water, the old, still well in a deserted village, the secluded oasis in the heart of the desert, the rushing river that carves through a canyon. Water acts as a conduit, a reflective surface that serves as a gateway between worlds. Their habitats are always places of potent atmosphere, where the veil is thin, and the air hums with unseen energy. To build a house or to travel through such a place requires permission, a whispered invocation to the unseen residents, a plea for safe passage through their sovereign domain. To describe the form of a jinn is to describe smoke and lightning. They are shapeshifters by nature, their true essence being a core of conscious energy, a sentient flame that produces no smoke. In this primal state, they might appear as a pillar of shimmering heat, a coalescence of swirling dust motes in a sunbeam, or a distortion in the air that makes the world behind it waver like a mirage. However, they possess the profound ability to condense this energy into physical forms, crafting bodies from the elements around them. A jinn rising from the desert sands might sculpt itself a body of coarse, granular rock and scorching heat, with eyes like molten obsidian. One emerging from a stormy sea could take on a form of swirling water and foam, with a core of crushing pressure. They can appear as animals, a black dog with intelligent, malevolent eyes, a sleek scorpion with a ghostly stinger, or a serpent that moves without a sound. Most disconcertingly, they can wear the guise of a human, perfect in every detail except for one subtle, unnerving flaw: feet that never quite touch the ground, eyes that reflect light like a cat's, or a shadow that moves out of sync with its owner. This chameleonic nature is the source of their power and our deep-seated fear, for the stranger you meet on a lonely road may not be a stranger at all. The behavior of the jinn is a mirror to humanity, yet reflected in a distorted, amplified glass. They are creatures of intense passion, capable of great love, profound artistic expression, and devastating, centuries-long vengeance. Their sense of time is not our own. An insult forgotten by a man in a week may be nursed by a jinn for 100 years, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They are bound by their own complex codes of honor and law, where a promise is an unbreakable chain, and an oath sworn upon their true name carries immense power. They are famously curious about humanity, sometimes forming attachments, offering protection to a family, or even falling in love with a mortal. There are countless tales of jinn taking human spouses, these unions often shrouded in tragedy as the fundamental differences between flesh and fire inevitably create an insurmountable divide. Conversely, a jinn slighted can wreak havoc on a life, bringing illness, madness, and misfortune, a phenomenon often mistaken for a curse or demonic possession. They are not inherently evil, but they are inherently other, and their morality is a complex tapestry woven with threads of elemental passion, ancient pride, and a perspective on existence that is utterly alien to the human mind. Humanity, living in a world shared with these powerful, unpredictable beings, naturally developed a vast and intricate tapestry of folklore for protection and interaction. The knowledge of how to avoid attracting their attention, or how to ward them off once encountered, became a crucial survival skill. Certain actions are considered invitations or provocations: whistling loudly at night, pouring boiling water down a drain without a blessing, or urinating in a hole in the ground without first asking permission from its unseen residents. To protect a new home, iron, a metal often said to be repulsive to the jinn, would be placed above the doorframe. Recitations from holy books believed to carry divine power are used as shields, their words creating an invisible barrier against malevolent forces. The most famous protective invocation is Bismillah, in the name of God, spoken before entering an empty house, drinking water, or beginning any journey. Amulets containing specific verses, written by a holy man, are worn around the neck or placed in cradles to protect infants, who are considered particularly vulnerable. These practices are not mere superstition. They are a deeply ingrained cultural defense mechanism, a way for humanity to carve out pockets of safety in a world they only partially perceive. Not all interactions were so grand. The story of the fisherman and the jinn is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked curiosity and the fury of long confinement. A poor fisherman casts his net into the sea and pulls up a heavy, sealed copper jar. Hoping for treasure, he pries the lead seal open with his knife. Instead of gold, a thick, dark smoke pours out, coalescing into a monstrous, vengeful ifrit. The Jinn, trapped for centuries in the jar by Solomon's decree, has spent the ages swearing vengeance upon the world. His first act upon release is to announce the fisherman's death, offering him only a choice of manner. But the fisherman, using his wits where his strength would fail, expresses disbelief that a being so vast could ever have fit inside such a small vessel. Tricked by his own pride, the Jinn condenses himself back into the smoke and streams into the jar to prove it. The quick-thinking fisherman slams the seal back in place, trapping the Jinn once more, proving that human intelligence can triumph over even the most overwhelming supernatural power. This story echoes the universal theme of the genie in the lamp, but with a far darker, more realistic edge, emphasizing the Jinn's capacity for eternal bitterness and the human need for cleverness in the face of the unknown. Then there are the stories of love, which are always stories of tragedy. The tale of Jinn, the Pearl of the Sea, tells of a married Jinn who takes the form of a woman of breathtaking beauty to walk among humans. A mortal king sees her and is struck with a love so profound it eclipses all else. He wins her heart, and she becomes his queen, bringing with her an era of unparalleled prosperity and wisdom. However, her true nature imposes conditions. She places a single, strange prohibition upon the king. He must never speak her name in the presence of water. For years, he is happy to comply. But during a lavish festival by the palace lakes, in a moment of pride and overwhelming love, he forgets the taboo and cries out, "Jinn." The moment her name touches the reflective surface of the water, she is pulled by an irresistible force, her form dissolving into mist and flowing back into the lake, leaving the king alone in his perpetual grief. This myth speaks to the fundamental incompatibility of the two worlds. A love between fire and clay, between an eternal being and a mortal one, is beautiful but ultimately unsustainable, doomed by the very laws of nature that define them. The symbolic meaning of the Jinn has evolved over centuries, but it consistently represents the untamed, unpredictable, and often dangerous aspects of the natural world and the human psyche. They are the personification of the desert's lethal majesty, the ocean's crushing depth, and the forest's impenetrable mystery. They are the sudden fever that strikes without warning, the madness that descends upon a sane mind, the streak of luck that feels too good to be true. Psychologically, they represent the shadow self, the repressed desires, the hidden angers, the whispered temptations that we battle within. Iblis, in his role as the tempter, is not an external devil, but the embodiment of pride and the refusal to submit to a higher wisdom. The Jinn are the ultimate other, a constant reminder that we are not alone in the universe, and that the entities we share it with do not necessarily have our best interests at heart. They challenge our notions of reality, forcing us to question what is real and what is imagined, and in doing so, they hold up a mirror to our deepest fears and our most fervent desires. In the modern world, the ancient belief in the Jinn has not vanished, it has transformed. While the folklore persists in rural communities, in the urban landscape, the Jinn have migrated into new realms. They are the archetypes for powerful, often morally ambiguous beings in fantasy literature and film. They are the mysterious entities in video games that offer powerful boons at a terrible price. Modern paranormal investigators use electromagnetic field meters and digital voice recorders in attempts to capture evidence of the same phenomena once attributed to these fiery beings. The symbolism has shifted, too. Where once they represented the fear of the wild, unknown desert, they now can represent the fear of the unseen digital world. The hackers in the system, the viruses that corrupt data, the anonymous, powerful forces that manipulate our lives from the shadows. The core of their identity remains. They are the masters of the unseen, the inhabitants of the spaces between, a powerful metaphor for everything we cannot control, yet must learn to coexist with. The whispering has not stopped, it has simply changed its medium. As our world becomes increasingly mapped, explained, and digitized, the Jinn recede further into the realm of metaphor and myth. Yet, their enduring presence in our collective imagination is a testament to a fundamental human need, the need for mystery. We may have satellites that can see every square inch of the planet, but they cannot photograph a thought or capture a whisper. The Jinn reside in that final, uncharted territory, the landscape of the human soul and the possibility of worlds layered upon our own. They remind us that the map is not the territory, that for all our science and reason, there are still whispers on the wind that we cannot identify, shadows that move with a purpose we cannot discern, and a deep, primal understanding that we are not alone. They are the eternal inhabitants of the liminal, the guardians of the threshold, the keepers of the secrets that lie just beyond the firelight. And so, the next time you are alone in a quiet place and feel a sudden, inexplicable chill or hear a whisper that might just be the wind, remember the ancient truth of the smokeless fire. The silence is a lie. They are still there, watching from the edges, waiting in the spaces between breaths. Another legend fades, but the next awaits. Like this video, subscribe and continue the journey through myths.